So, Mark, we've been talking about Ikigai, and one part of Ikigai is to find out what we are very good at, what we have a talent for.
Yeah.
And maybe I just start out with asking you, what's really easy for you to do in life?
Yeah. I think the one thing that was consistent ever since I was a kid was following structure. Like, I don't mind if it's very hard, or if it gets me to where I want to be, then I can do it. So as an example, if you tell me, you have to do this specific course and it takes 4 years and it's, every night shift you have to do this and that, and if it's what I want to do, then I can do it. I can follow through. So this is something that people always come back to me and say, oh, how do you do it? It's the same with sports discipline. Like, this is something that comes easy to me, I think, because it motivates me. Like, I don't mind the grind. I don't mind doing things over and over again to get it right, to get it perfect, I like that.
So it's quite interesting that you say that, because now we are sitting in a beautiful spot here at the Rhine in Basel, and you mentioned on the way down here that where you work now, the organization you work for, there are some forms that you sometimes have to fill out to acquire things that you need for your work. And you told me that it was a little bit, I think you used the word red tape or bureaucratic.
Yes, yeah.
And I could see in your face that you were actually quite angry about that.
Yes.
So it surprised me a little bit that you talk about structure and discipline now.
I think I have a lot of these two polarity things.
Okay.
But if it makes sense to me, then I can do it. I can put my head down and I can do it over and over again because it gets results.
Okay.
What I don't like is if it's arbitrary.
Okay, yeah.
So that's maybe the one thing that differentiates those two mentalities.
Yeah. So another thing, when I think about what we are good at as human beings, a question that would be interesting would be to find out, what do people praise you for? What do people you work with, but also your friends and family, what do they give you praise for?
So aside from that structure and that mentality to power through, I think the one thing that's mentioned most is how I create opportunity and support for people. So I've now been in a position to lead people for more than 10 years, and that's one thing that came up over and over again. It's like, you've created this opportunity, you've had our backs, you fought for the well-being of the team, you considered the human being behind it. So I try to think of as a very empathetic person.
Yeah.
So that's maybe another thing I'm good at.
So maybe building on that, can you share maybe one or two examples about situations where you really feel well in your heart?
I think if I can, and that's part of the Ikigai that I realized that I want to pay more attention to, is if I can create something for someone or with someone I care about. And it's that simple. Like, it could be anything. It could be baking a cake with the family, right? Or it could be some very sophisticated project platform that you have your team and you really have to do an all-nighter to get it done in time.
Okay.
But it's that kind of mentality to say everyone pulls their strings, everyone trying to make their best, and you work the magic to make it happen with the team. And that's something that brings me great joy. And even people say, oh, but that's 12 hours, 14 hours. That I don't mind, if it's geared towards that moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I asked your wife, or I asked your closest colleagues or customers, what is the top skill of Marc? What would they say?
I have no idea what they would say, because I struggle with that question myself. And I've done tons of analysis and work on that. There's two things that come up over and over again. Is the one thing that propels me. So that's that achiever. Some categorize it as achiever mentality. So you always have to evolve. You always have to do a bigger thing, the next project. You always have to. So that drive. That's one thing that a lot of people apparently don't have, and I cannot live without it. There's always the next challenge I have. And no matter whether it's learning a new language, or it doesn't have to be very specific, but I need to keep moving, sort of keep swimming in that sense. So that's something I think people would mention.
So when I'm thinking about all that you have said until now, what comes into mind is you have a strong results orientation, a
Yes.
drive,
Yeah.
but you're also a team player, leader. So you have a results orientation for the team. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because I see people around me, at least for now, they've always been better than me in many aspects. So the way I can instrumentalize that and use it is to help them achieve greatness. So if I can do that, if I can provide the tools that they need or the backup that they can need, then that helps a lot.
Yeah.